Welcome to the 8-Minute Devotion with Pastor Cameron Walcott. The 8-Minute Devotion is a daily message that exists to give you hope, encouragement, and life as we look together at the Word of God. And now, the 8-Minute Devotion.
Yo, welcome back to the 8-Minute Devotion. We are here on this Thursday, and we're so glad you can join us. We're continuing our study of Romans 8. Romans 8 shows us the victorious life. It's an amazing chapter. It's my favorite chapter in Romans. Romans is my favorite book of the Bible, so it's really an amazing chapter in an amazing book. And today we're going to look at Romans 8 and verse 7. Romans 8 and verse 7. It says this, "For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God, for it does not submit to God's law. Indeed, it cannot." So this is continuing on the topic of the mind, on what the mind is focused on. A mind that is on things of the flesh or a mind that is on things of the Spirit. Paul says here, the Apostle Paul writing this says, the mind that is set on the flesh, it's hostile to God. It's an enemy of God. It will not submit to God's law, and it cannot submit to it. What this is showing us is this. We are all born with a fallen, sinful human nature. We are all born with that human nature, with that sinful nature that got passed down from our first father, Adam. When Adam partook of the fruit, he brought sin into the human race, and from that moment on, we were all sinners. We would all commit sin. We sinned in Adam, and we would all commit sin on our own. And because of that, our mind has been corrupted. The fleshly mind has been corrupted, and it actually says the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God. In other words, the fleshly mind is an enemy of God, and that's just an outworking of what our sinful nature does. We are all actually, when we are born in sin, we aren't just separated from God, we are actually the enemies of God. Everything our sinful nature does draws us towards being against God. God's ways are perfect and righteous and holy. Our sinful nature is depraved, and our sinful nature craves evil. And you see, our mind, when it's been given over to that sinful nature, just as we are in reality enemies of God before we're born again, our fleshly mind is hostile. Our fleshly mind is at war with the things of the Spirit. It does not submit to God's law because it cannot submit to God's law. It always wants to go in an opposite direction. This is why, as believers, sometimes we feel this struggle inside of us. Sometimes we feel this struggle between righteousness and sin. Sometimes we feel this struggle that the world may not feel, because those who are in the world, those who don't know Jesus as their Savior, they don't have the Spirit of God inside of them, pulling them towards righteousness. They don't have the Spirit of God always telling them to do right. They don't have the Spirit of God showing them, this is the way, this is the way. So it's easy for them to just continue in sin. It's relatively easy. Sin is what they know. They follow their sinful nature, and they continue in sin. But those of us who are born again, we cannot just sin without feeling it, because we have the Spirit of God inside of us. The tricky part is this. We still have our human nature inside of us as well. You see, the moment we're born again, God doesn't once and for all get rid of our human nature, and we never struggle, and we never feel tempted again. No, we remain human. So we have the Spirit of God inside of us, always pulling us up towards righteousness, peace, joy. But we also have our fallen nature inside of us, always pulling us down to sin and depravity. That is the reason that sometimes as Christians we feel more of a struggle, maybe even more than we felt before you were born again, when we didn't know the way of righteousness, the way of peace, the way of joy. That's why there can be this struggle in our mind. What's the answer then? What's the answer to no longer have the struggle, or to no longer give in to the struggle? The answer is to walk in the Spirit, to be crucified with Christ. You see, there are two natures inside of you, Christian. There's the nature of God, and there's your fallen nature. You need to learn to give in to the nature of God. And the more you give in to the nature of God, the more you say, Lord, not my way, but your way be done. The more you say, Lord, change me, transform my mind, the stronger that new nature inside of you is going to be. You know, it's just like exercise. Whatever muscles you exercise are going to get strong. And if you exercise the Spirit of God, if you exercise the new man inside of you, you exercise that by thinking thoughts that are above. You exercise that by reading the Word of God. You exercise that by going to church. You exercise that by worshiping, by listening to the preaching of the Word of God. The more you exercise that new man, the stronger it's going to become, and it's going to win the battle. The more you starve out the old man, the more you say no to thoughts of envy and jealousy, the more you say no to worldly entertainment that's leading you in a bad direction, the more you say no to things of this earth, the stronger, or the weaker that spirit, that fallen man is going to be. The more you say no to things of this world, the weaker that fallen man is going to be. And the weaker that fleshly mind that will not submit to God's law, that is an enemy of God, the weaker and weaker it's going to be. Think of this. If two dogs are in a fight, which dog is going to win? It's the one that you've been feeding. It's the one that's been eating. And it's the same thing with the battle in our minds and the battle in our hearts. The nature that we feed is the nature that's going to be victorious. The nature that we feed into is the nature that ultimately is going to win. And I don't want my mind that's set on the flesh, it's hostile to God. So I don't want to be hostile to God. I don't want my mind to be set on the flesh. I don't want my mind to not submit to God's law. I don't want my mind to be in a place where it cannot submit to God's law. So if I don't want to be in that situation, I need to make sure that my mind is on the things of the Spirit, not through my effort, but through the grace of God, through submitting to what God has done. You know, Galatians 2:20, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. Not I, but Christ lives in me. And you see, as I say, Lord, live through me. Jesus, live through me. Let the fallen me be nailed to the cross. Let the Christ in me become stronger and stronger. Change the way I think. Change the way I act. Then I can really live a way that pleases God. Not through effort. If you try to do it through just trying harder, it's not going to work. But if you do it by yielding and saying, Lord, live your life through me. Lord, let me be crucified with Christ. Lord, fill my mind and my heart with things of the Spirit. You please God, not from the outside. You please God from the inside out. So just continue to say, Lord, transform my mind. Don't let my mind be set on the flesh. Let my mind be set on things above. Let my mind be set on your glorious kingdom. The more my mind is set on you, the more Jesus will manifest in my life. And I will walk the way that I can only walk when I have your grace and your power. I will walk in a way that's pleasing to you. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow on the 8-Minute Devotion.
Thank you for listening to the 8-Minute Devotion. We trust you've been encouraged and blessed today. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or by visiting the8minutedevotion.podbean.com. For questions or comments, please email us at the8minutedevotion@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you.